Good afternoon, everybody out there in Twitter land, Facebook land, a little bit of every land. As I've said before, you can always find me on Twitter, especially. Um, the one for epilepsy is twitter.com/epilepsycures. And my normal one, which is just me, is same twitter.com, but I'm alive in me. And I'm also on Facebook, and you can find me at www.facebook.com/Hetty, that's Hetty, the number 4, Christ. And that will just take you directly how to connect with me. Um, and also, I have a cause site on Facebook, which you can find through there, or you can just go directly to it, www.causes.com/epilepsycures. I'm also on Tangle as well, and that's just to update you there. Under my actual name, long story short, nickname was always Hetty. Half the people in the world know me as that. My name is Heather Stevens. Um, I'm going to give you just a an amazing verse this afternoon that I ran into, which I always have loved. And it's from Psalms, of course, which I absolutely am in love with this absolute book. Um, but this one kind of touches me just from everything that, anyone goes through. And it's, of course, talking to God, saying, it's Psalm 35, 4 through 5. Show me the path where I should walk, O Lord. Point out the right road for me to follow. Lead me by your truth and teach me. For you are the God who saves me. All day long I put my hope in you. And it's just, that's just so true. And we are to put our hope in Him. And He always saves us. And that I so know. So, all of you who do connect with me, it's amazing. And the stories I've been getting and the comments of the life that everyone's been living and just everything people are going through. You're not alone, and I'm here for you, and there are a ton of people out there that are also there for you as well. Never feel alone. There are just so many different types of seizures. And somebody was asking me, and it's so true, about what is an aura? And that is the oddest terminology because believe it or not, they do consider auras a seizure. It will show an actual um, activity on the EEG. Auras, in a really weird sense, are a blessing. Granted, they feel very strange. Mine happen to be very different from most because for some odd reason, most people get sick in their stomach, almost just this queasy feeling. For some reason, my whole life, if I even get them today, but my whole life as a child especially, but even today, I'll get this really weird throat feeling. The blessing behind the aura is, as I said before, I was a gymnast for 12 years and I was able to get off the balance beam before I went flipping. My daughter doesn't have them quite completely yet, and the few that she gets, she doesn't understand them yet. So, but she does know that she doesn't quite feel right in the stomach. So that's like the usual aura, but like I said, I get the weirdest ones that are in my throat, and I always felt like I had to have, which I actually still do today with my complex partial seizures. I will lip smack, they call it. But back when I was a kid, I used to feel like I had to do that and get saliva, go figure, in my mouth. Or it felt like I was going to absolutely lose it all. Like my throat, my tongue, everything was just going to just go swallowing down my throat. Can't tell you how the brain works. That's just the oddity behind it. So actually, anyone who ever sees a child staring out doing some lip smacking or whatnot, if anyone sees a child, which, I was at my um, support group for children with epilepsy, and fortunately, in a strange manner as well, I have epilepsy, so I'm very observant of the signs of it. So when my daughter started having her absent seizures, I knew what they looked like, and so when she started actually showing the signs of it, she would blank out, she would stare out, and I just knew that. But I've heard stories about people whose children dumped over water. And, because as parents, I mean, kids are kids, and we don't know sometimes. Like, why? Why'd you do that? Was it just you not thinking? Is it irresponsible? Were you deep thinking about something else that you were on the playground with? So that's the hard part. But beside that, those are the couple things that I can tell you right now to look for. Other than that, there's a lot of deja vu that I personally get, a lot of people get. Um, just feelings from the past that I will always get flashbacks or feelings that I've been there and perhaps I actually haven't. There's been a time where um, I've actually had auditory um, where I would hear hallucinations, where I would hear someone say things over and over again and I wouldn't understand it at all. It was like a foreign language, but I wouldn't remember but for 3 maybe seconds at most as to what this foreign language was. And then finally, after that day went by, I just snapped. I'm like, Mom, I don't know what to do. I was just so in tears. It was just sad. But there are just many different types that go along with it. But those are the few that definitely hit me big, along with memory, because that's the side that it's on with me is my memory. I thank God they took that part out in my second surgery. When I listened to music back before that, I would get these flashbacks during a heightened seizure point, and I would just flip out, have to turn off the music, or I would seize because it would remind me, basically, I guess, my brain of that seizure, and I would seize. And the same thing with TV shows, and smells. My smell was another one if I smell the lotion. But there are all different types of seizures out there. There's, you know, quite a few different type of generalized type of seizures, and that's when it affects both sides of the brain. And there's quite a few different types of partial, and that affects usually just one. And the oddity part is that you really have to juggle. What do you have? What does your child have? What does your friend have? And you got to get the doctors, and they have to investigate for some time because most of my life, we always thought it was absence seizures, which should be both sides. But then it changed to complex, which should be one side. But at the same time, medication is just such a role player that if you have any withdrawal when you change from one to another, that you can actually have generalized seizures, which is when it affects both sides. So, it's kind of a flip of the coin for a while until you can really get more of a statistic out of all of your EEGs, out of which is it. And so the beneficial part today is when they do the testing, the in-depth electrodes before they do surgery, you can either do the one spot that's normally done, and we did that, but today I'm still having them. So we're just going to do it all. We're going to do the frontal lobe on the left side and the left, whatever is left of my left temporal lobe, not much of the hippocampus. And then we're going to drill through 3 holes on the right side too, just to double check. So those are the few pointers that I have, for today, other than I would love to get more questions and just reach out to you because God only knows I have too many years of experience, but I also know that God is bringing me forward to um, definitely be healed. Um, it's been pretty interesting. I've lost a ton of weight, which isn't a benefit, so I've been very tired, and I haven't been up as late for you guys on Twitter, and I apologize. But I do love you all, and pray that my 95 pounds goes back up to at least 115. And God bless you all, and send me some messages. and have a great day.